Morning, everyone, and welcome to this special episode. And today we're joined by Claire McVeigh, who is the project manager from Energy Heroes. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Paul.
Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, Energy Heroes is one of those organizations that we've kind of heard about your work for years and years and years. I wondered, do you want to talk a bit more just about what Energy Heroes is all about? I mean, I've got this statement here that maybe can start us off. It says, our vision is to enable school communities across the UK to become models of energy efficiency.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, Energy Heroes is a very small organisation that travels around the country visiting primary schools, trying to support schools to embed sustainability more effectively in their curriculum, but also to inspire the children to realise that they have a role in being able to make change related to energy, but also climate change and how that has an impact on climate change. And we realise that schools are under quite a lot of pressure these days. They have SATs, they have results to visit, to they have results to hit.
Yeah, yeah.
So we want to just support them in that mission on how do we bring sustainability, how do we bring action on climate change within the curriculum in a way that isn't going to add more pressure.
Mm. How then, just to give a bit of context, how did the organization come about? What's the sort of founding story and those
Yeah,
pieces? Yeah.
we have two wonderful female co-founders, Dr. Vicky Pendry, who works on international sustainability curriculums across the world in lower income countries, and also Kate Gilmartin. She's the CEO of British Hydro. She's now our trustee, but also now works for GB Energy. So Vicky and Kate actually formed Energy Heroes over a decade ago. So there's a real length of experience behind the organisation. And as well as their skills in founding the organisation, we also have expert teachers working for us with between them decades of experience, ex-deputy head teacher, all primary focused. And myself as project manager with experience in climate, having studied climate change and sustainability. So we have this really well-rounded experience in delivering both the educational side of the program, but also a depth of knowledge in energy, sustainability, and climate change.
And I mean, there's so many different sort of, I guess, programs and things that you do. Do you want to touch on a few of them in terms of the kind of engagement you do with schools?
Yeah, okay, so we do visits to school. So we're very hands-on. We really like the personal approach. We realize that, maybe that's the benefit of being a small organization. We speak directly with teachers, we go in, we visit teachers, and we work with teachers and with children. So we offer a visit where we do a whole school assembly. We work closely with year five, and we do an energy audit and an action plan with a small group of year five pupils. So the idea is that we give hands-on engaging lessons. So that's inspiring the pupils, but it's also inspiring educators. We're very focused on maths, sort of the STEM approach. We want children to believe that maths can be their superpower and
Hmm.
that maths can be a way in which you can change the world. So it helps them to develop those problem-solving skills around energy and climate and to empower them to realize they can make a difference. And I use the word empowerment really carefully because I think children are already empowered. This is about inspiring to see the ways in which they can make a difference and getting that fine balance between this isn't their responsibility. Climate anxiety is a big thing out there. What we want them to feel is that they can do something about what they're hearing in the media in a really positive way.
Yeah, sounds really great. I really like that link with maths and the idea of it's almost like maths for good in the sense of showing how maths can be a really effective tool. So, on your website, you've got the superhero schools, and there's some really good case studies and examples. And I know
Yeah.
that there's a few schools actually that have got a real reputation around this. There's Halfpenny Lane and Australia. I wondered if have you got a story of a sort of school or a teacher who has been doing, really engaging with this and has had some really positive outcomes?
Yeah, my goodness, we've been to lots of schools. Grimesdyke
Mm.
is a fantastic school in terms of, I think, one of the best in terms of how they've embedded sustainability and climate across the entire curriculum in terms of outdoor learning, indoor learning. I love their attitude. to particularly outdoor learning. They give the children the freedom to explore nature and they connect that back to sustainability and curriculum. I think, yeah, they're an incredibly inspiring school. And another thing I like about them is the way in which they're very open to other schools learning from them.
Mm.
Um, yeah, also Ben Ridding around the sort of Otley area. The few lead teachers there have really taken on passionately in leading their school
Yeah.
into doing more action on climate and energy.
Well, that sounds really good. I guess then, is there a specific activity or something that either you or the team have gone into a school and done that you thought that's been a really effective tool and you've seen a sort of change off the back of it? Is there a sort of a fun activity or anything that you really enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, our philosophy is that we really want to make this fun generally. We want to go into school and show teachers and pupils that learning about energy and climate can be really fun. Um, we One of the key things we do on our visits is an action plan, which starts with an audit. So we take a smaller group of children. Um, we have a session with them where we show them our Energy Hero house, which they absolutely love. We handmade it ourselves. And we go through aspects of, what is this house? How can we make it more sustainable? What do you need to do? And we have all sorts of little objects and things that they can use
Mm.
and stick on a flag at the end and say, yes, we've achieved this really great sustainable house. But then what comes from that is that we initiate this exploration of the school to open their eyes to where energy is coming in, where energy is being wasted, and ways in which them as energy hero detectives can go around and find where it's been wasted, how they can fix these problems, and then to go back and create an action plan around this. That's a really positive experience for the children. It's great fun and it gives them a sense of initiative and problem solving for what seem overwhelming issues.
I think that's also you touched on that slightly, but that sense of making it, pitching it at a primary age where it comes across as fun and there are characters and people and sort of like you say,
Yeah,
sort of it's a detective role in that sense, and I kind of understand that
yeah.
that can be a really effective tool in primary schools.
And they do get given detective roles as well. I mean, just another thing as well, you can embed this in every part of curriculum. Like I say, we focus on maths, but we also go back and we support teachers beyond that and do additional visits. Some of these can be artistic, that, we go and do
Mm.
art workshops where we focus on artists that have really brought nature into art, and we can explore climate and sustainability through those kind of workshops. We've got some really skilled teachers working for us that can do that.
And I think is that also then the important part of this jigsaw that it's finding that passion and enthusiasm from a member of staff who's then able to drive it within their subject area, and then you can build on that enthusiasm. Um,
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we find. And in some schools, these teachers that are the eco leads now, officially the eco leads, or just are generally very passionate, are really grateful for that support. And it's about building that culture within the schools. And I think having organisations like us, Energy Heroes, other organisations out there doing this work, visiting schools, and for those schools to see how beneficial, how fun it can be, but also how supportive it can be in terms of developing curriculum around these themes, but also reducing carbon footprint, reducing, energy bills within the school. The more we have of that, the more we develop this culture within education to address climate change and sustainability.
so if a school or teacher was interested, I guess we can direct them to your website. They can book a
Definitely.
visit. They can also access, there's lots of resources and ideas on the website. I mean, is that the best way to get in touch if a teacher's interested?
Yeah, definitely. On the website, we have all our resources are free. We want them to be used as much as possible. So if teachers want to go to our website, energyheroes.org.uk, go to the resources page, and you'll see there a list of various lesson plans. There's also a teacher guide, which is open for anybody to use, and take those and run with them. Um, I think, while the lessons there are available, we can also, if we do a visit, we can come and deliver one or two of those lessons as well if time is tight, and also just to show how that can be done.
Great. So just to sort of finish, for a teacher maybe at the beginning of this journey or just interested, or maybe a teacher that has already started some of this, so is there kind of a piece of advice or something a tip that you'd give teachers?
Yeah, I think it's to approach sustainability education from the angle of it doesn't have to be a mountain to climb. So, one really useful tip is to embed sustainability starters at the beginning of, you could do it at virtually every lesson. We do that at the beginning of our lesson that we deliver. It's just a 10-minute math starter looking at percentages, but we put that in the context of what percentage can you save on your energy if you take this action. And I think just to embed those 10-minute starters at the beginning of lessons is a really great way to ensure sustainability is a theme throughout your school, but without feeling like it's a really difficult thing to feed into your curriculum.
It sounds like a really good piece of advice. I've just been looking on the website at some of these starters, and they look great. Um, well, Claire, thank you so much for sharing your experience and advice and more about Energy Heroes.
Thanks for having me on. It's been great, and thanks for giving us this opportunity, to share our ideas and what our organisation's doing. Some really interesting activity happening across various organisations. I think it's so important. It's a moral imperative that we, start to look more closely at how we can embed sustainability in curriculum.
Great, well, thank you.